Alright class, so this video we're going to start reviewing for your final exam. We're going to do a unit per day, and this video and each of the videos I'm going to make are going to have times in the description below, so where you can click on it, it'll take you to specific questions. That way you don't have to sit through the whole video. If you only need question 3, look at the description below and click on the time for question number 3. Alright, so let's start here with number 1. Temperature changes throughout the hours of the day. Early in the morning, temperature increases slowly. At noon, temperature rises sharply. During the afternoon, the temperature stays the same for several hours. As night falls, the temperature decreases slightly. Choose the graph that best represents the temperature changes throughout the day. So this is very similar to what you did in Mr. GK's class first semester, where you had to figure out rise and falls of graphs and what it means for the line to go straight across. So let's look at our information here. We have early in the morning, temperature increases slowly. At noon, temperature rises sharply. Okay, and that's our key word right here. Sharply versus slowly. Okay, there's a difference. During the afternoon, temperature stays the same for several hours. Okay, so stays the same. As night falls, temperature decreases slightly. And I'm out of color, so I'm just going to use the same color. So temperature decreases slightly. Okay, so we want to know where temperature is increasing slowly. So I notice all 4 of my graphs, they look about the same for the first part of the graph, right? And that ends here. Then it says temperature rises sharply. Okay, well, A starts going down, so we know that's not the right answer. Okay, B has a sharp increase, C has a sharp increase, D has a sharp increase. Okay, afternoon temperature stays the same, so we want to look for a constant. Okay, well, B has a decrease first, so that's not correct either. So it has to be C or D. Then as night falls, temperature decreases slightly. Okay, so now that I eliminated 2 of these for you, try to pick the correct answer and make sure you answer these questions on the assignment today. Okay, that way you can also see the grade you got. Oops, wrong button. Alright, so that's it for number 1. Okay, now we're going to go to number 2. Okay, which situation most accurately matches the graph? Alright, here we have a graph on the left. Speed is my y-axis, time is my x-axis. So as my y-axis increases, that means my speed's going up. As x-axis increases, my time is going forward. So here we have a constant. That means the speed's the same. Okay, it's still moving. Keep that in mind. It's because it's speed. This means that we're going at the same speed. Then I start decreasing. And then once I hit this point, once I hit 0, right, for speed, I stop for a quick second, then I go back up. And then at that point, I'm staying the same. So you got to think about which of these 4 would match the description I gave you. Okay? Now, see, look at D. A car starts on flat ground and drives quickly up a hill and then keeps driving at a constant rate. Okay? So, car starts on flat ground, right? He's just driving constant speed, then he drives quickly up a hill. Well, this is going down, right? And then it's going back up. So, D is incorrect. Read these 3 3 other answer choices and try to match that to the graph, just like I did with choice D. Okay, and that's how you do number 2. Okay, we're going to go down to number 3 now. Okay, Deidre is saving up to purchase an iTunes gift card for her best friend. She has $2 and plans to deposit $3 each week. Alright, so she has $2. She already has $2 and deposits $3 each week. And when we say deposit, that means how much money she saves increases. Okay, so we know, look at all 4 of these graphs, they are increasing from left to right. Now she has $2, right? So my x-axis is the weeks, and the y-axis is how much money she has. Well, she has $2, so we have to start somewhere here on the y-axis at 2. Okay, so that means it can only either be C or D. Then she plans to deposit $3 each week. Okay, well, if I make a table, right, let's do weeks. That's my x-axis. And saving, or money. And that's my y-axis. Week 0, she starts with 2. Then week 1, she deposits a certain amount. Week 2, she has a certain amount. Week 3, she has a certain amount. Remember, each week she deposits $3. So what do you think would go here, here, and here? Okay. Then you notice here, they have 2 and you have 6. So you might want to keep going until you get to 6. Follow the pattern and see which one of these two are correct. Okay, and I'm not sure if that shows up on our screen. Let me see. Yep, it is showing up. Perfect. Okay, so I know you guys are seeing it, but for me, I can't because my little screen markers are gone, but it's okay. All right, number 4. Graph of the function is shown below. For which interval? Okay, the word interval means a section. So in this case, a section is x increasing and changing by a constant rate. So I want to know from what section of this graph is x increasing. Okay, so let me see. We have increasing here in blue. We have increasing here in green. So if I write the interval, that's between -4 and -2, right? Because it stops right here. And then here I have 0 and 2. Okay, so we know these are increasing, so it has to be between -4 and -2, or 0 and 2. So it can't be B or D. Okay, so then now you have to decide which of these is changing by a constant rate. Okay, which is changing by a constant rate. That means no matter where it is on the graph, it is the same. Okay, so I'm going to trace these lines again. Okay. So here's this is choice A, and this is choice C. All right, so that is how you do number 4. Moving on to number 5. Okay, so on this sheet, this is the hard copy if you want to print it out. But online, I changed the question a little bit to make it multiple choice. Part A, create a table for the values when x equals these numbers here. That's my domain. So in order to fill in my chart, okay, I have all my x values here from the question. Now I have to find y. Well, x is right here in my equation. So let's do the work. Y equals -2. X is now a parentheses with a -2 inside. Plus 1. Then you do the same thing again with -1. Whatever answer you get, you put in here. So -2 times -2 is +4, plus 1 is 5. Then you do the same thing here, 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 and here. Okay? And whatever 5 numbers you get, that's the 5 numbers you choose in your answer choice. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to skip the graph just because that is not going to be on the online version. But -2, 5 is here, so if you use a paper copy, make sure you plot that. Okay, part C. You will answer this question on the practice online. Okay, which pair represents the y-intercept? Now here's a clue. It's on the y-axis. That means your ordered pair has to be 0, something. Okay, whatever that number is your y-intercept. Okay, number 6. All right, so this question is split into 3 parts per question. So we're going to do A first and then B. So just to show you, you kind of do the same thing for each of these questions. Okay, so domain is X, range is Y, and is the relation a function? Yes or no? Okay, so domain, all you have to do is write down the numbers that are all the x's. So here's an x, 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 and x. If you see a number more than once, you only have to write it one time. So I have 2 6's, so I just write 6 one time. Then 9, put it in order from smallest to biggest. 11, and then 12. And that's my domain. Okay, then the range is the same thing but for the y's. Okay, all of these y numbers. And we'll let you do that one on your own. Okay, now is the relation a function? All right, now remember what we learned. A relation, ooh, that does not look good. Let me write that again. A relation is a function only if x does not repeat. Okay, x does not repeat. Okay, and that's the only condition. Okay, x cannot repeat. If x repeats, it is not a function. All right, so I believe, oh, no, we're going to keep going. So that's number 6. Okay, and you're going to see this split into 3 questions. So this is one question, one question, one question. Same with these 3. Okay. All right, let's look at number 7. Bike rental company charges a fee per hour. Charge in dollars is the same each hour. The ordered pairs, 314, 524, represent the hours, X, and the cost, Y. What is the rate of change? Okay, rate of change, Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Here I have 3, 14, 5, 24. Okay, 3 is an X, or let's label XY, XY. First point is 1s, second point are 2s. Use a different color there. So then you just plug your numbers in. Y2 is 24. Y1 is 14. Then you decide what goes here and here, and then solve. Whatever number you get is the answer. Okay? So this is X2, and this is X1. Actually, let me change that. Use highlights so that the lines don't look like fractions. Okay? Alright, so that is how you do this question. Okay, then the last question here is this paper, on paper number 8, online it's a little different. Okay? The Lake Lanier Marina charges a $27 rental fee for a boat, in addition to charging $20 per hour. There's our key word right there, per. Write an equation of the cost y of that boat in terms of x hours. Remember, this whole problem is y equals mx plus b. Okay, or y equals blank x plus blank. Okay, m is your slope. And then b is your y-intercept. Okay, so we got to decide what's our slope, what's our y-intercept. You see the word per, that's your slope. Or what we learned before is your rate of change. Okay, let me see if I can use a smaller pen. It's getting kind of hard to write. So let me try that again. So it's my slope. Oh, that looks a lot better. It's also your rate of change. Okay, let me try this again too. Sorry for taking up a little bit more time, but this does look a lot easier to read. So y equals mx plus b. M is slope, and then b is your y-intercept. Okay, so that means this question is going to be y equals something blank x plus blank. Blank, oops, wrong one. Blank x plus blank. Okay, now what is the cost of rental for 8 hours? Alright, so once you have your equation, y equals, oops, wrong pen. Y equals blank x plus blank. Okay, what happens now is that this x changes. It's no longer x, but we're going to put parentheses. Yikes, that is a horrible looking parentheses. Let's try that again. Not the best, but better. Okay, hours is x. Okay, hours is x. So that means you have to take this 8 and plug it in here. Okay, then you're going to do the rest. Part C, write an ordered pair to represent the initial value of the function. Initial value, y-intercept. Remember in one of the questions before, I told you the y-intercept is 0, something. Right? What's my initial value? How much am I paying first before getting charged per hour? And then finally, part D, we are looking for the rate of change. Rate of change, earlier I said is slope. And we are looking for a keyword, and that word is per. Now make sure you give me the number that comes before that per. That number is the rate of change. Okay, so it's blank per blank. Okay, this is a number. Okay, this is a number. That's the rate of change. Okay, that's the number I want. Okay, so if it's $10 per something, $5 per something, that 5, that 10, that's your rate of change. Okay, so again, you are looking for a number for your rate of change. Okay, let me erase that. Kind of looks messy. Alright, so I went over all of the questions that are on this review today. Okay, again, if you are here at the end but you missed a lot of the questions, please read the description below. Click on the times and it'll take you to those question numbers. Okay, if you have any questions, I'll have a Zoom session today. Please check eClass for the time and the link, and I will see you online. If you have any questions, you can call, you can Google Voice, Remind, email. There are so many ways to contact me if you need help. Please remember your final exam is next week. I'll talk to you all later.